Hello everyone, welcome to 5 questions, 5 answers series with Kunle Adepoju. I am so glad that you are with us on this program. This is the first edition of 5 questions, 5 answers program with Kunle Adepoju on Fox TV. I'm glad that you are with us. I am so glad at the number of questions, the way people are throwing in their questions since we have announced that this program will be starting in June. And we are so glad that we are here to start the program 5 questions, 5 answers. 5 questions, 5 answers is the program that will be attending to series of questions, several questions in the heart of people concerning filmmaking. Things that you want to know about in filmmaking, things that you want us to clarify, things that you want us to explain to you in terms of filmmaking is what this program is all about. We will be answering 5 questions per program. We'll be answering 5 questions per program. And so we are here to answer 5 questions out of the numerous questions that have been sent to us on this program. So let's start.
Can you share more light between resolution and
Please, can you tell us what picture composition means? Is it production design for us to have film production? Can you tell us what production design does in filmmaking? What type of camera can you recommend?
Welcome back. Our first question for the maiden edition of 5 questions, 5 answers is coming from Big Sam. Big Sam is in Apata, Ibadan, Oyo State. The question is, what is the best type of cinematic lighting technique? What is the best type of cinematic lighting technique? Yeah, lighting techniques in filmmaking are classified into 2. We have natural lighting and we have pictorial lighting. But I will tell you that when you say one lighting is the best type of for cinema, or another one is the best type of cinema, might not really be true, because lighting doesn't really need to be realistic. You don't really need to be realistic with your lighting, but you need to be realistic with the mood of the scene. You need to be realistic with the mood of the scene. The position of your light, the shaping of your light, the structure of your light, the type of light you use might not really matter. But what really matters is the mood that comes out of the light for that scene. The mood that you build from all your lighting setup for that scene. So when you say the best type of cinematic lighting technique is definitely to be real with the mood of the scene. Now, you might not really need to be real with the lighting setup, because when you talk about pictorial lighting setup does not follow the natural lighting setup. You know, natural lighting setup, you have to follow what you see naturally. Follow the lighting setup of the natural environment to position your light. But for pictorial lighting setup, you don't need to follow the natural lighting setup to position your light. You are following the lighting of your subject, lighting of the talent, the lighting of elements on the set. But when you talk about lighting techniques for cinema, cinematic lighting techniques, we are talking about lighting technique that is very real in your scene mood. Lighting technique that is very real in your scene mood. So, have the best lighting techniques for film. You just have to be real with the mood of your scene. The lighting position, the lighting setup must bring out the reality of the mood of that thing. Thank you for that question, Big Sam. Yes, our second question is coming from Akinleye Rocco from Akinbile in Monia, Ibadan. So that our second question is coming from him, Akinleye Rocco. So this is the answer to your question. Your question is what it means to be a production designer in any project. You mean what does it mean to be a production designer in any project? Yes. Your answer is a production designer. To be a production designer in any project, you have to be artistically creative. You have to be very creative You have to be like an artist to be a production designer in any project. So who is a production designer? A production designer is the one who creates, who design the look. The production designer is the personnel who design the look of that production. Design everything we are going to see in front of the camera. So it designs everything we are going to see in front of the camera. The production designer is the person that designs the costume, that designs the props, that designs the makeup, that designs the set. Everything we are going to see in front of the camera is designed by the production designer. In fact, for example, if you are shooting a periodic movie, like you are shooting an epic movie, maybe like a Yoruba epic movie, and you are using a car, and the car does not have tribal mark, and there is need for you to create tribal mark. It is the production designer that designs the type of tribal mark that will work for the person coming on set, or the type of tribal mark that is used at that period or in the town that you are depicting in such a movie. So it is the work of the production designer to design everything that we are going to see in the movie. For example, we are shooting a periodic movie, a movie of like 1979, 1980. You know the type of cars that will be seen in such a production. So it is the work of a production designer to sit down and design how the movie will look. Everything we're going to see in the movie will be designed. In fact, when the production enjoys the work of a production designer, that production will be extraordinary. That production will be extremely fantastic because you have a production designer on set. So a production designer will have under him the makeup artist working, the set designer working, the prop designer working, the costume designer also working, hairstylists, wardrobe managers, everybody are working to bring out the vision, to bring out what the production designer has sketched for the production. Thank you for this question, Mr. Rocco Akinleye from Moniya Ibadan. Thank you for this question. Let's go on a short break. We'll be back.
This was the difference between resolution and
Please, can you tell us what picture composition is? Is it just production design for us to have filmmaking? Can you tell us what production design does in filmmaking? What type of camera can you recommend?
Welcome back. Another question came in from Adekunle Adeyemi from Ibadan. So that question makes me laugh a bit, but it's one of my areas that I need to answer. He asked the question saying, what is cinematography? Just to laugh. What is cinematography? Of course, there are quite a number of people who doesn't know what cinematography is. Some people thought cinematography is just all about camera. Some people thought cinematography goes beyond that. So, what is cinematography? Cinematography is the study and the application of pictures in motion. Now, the application of pictures in motion. Now, how do you apply pictures in motion? Cinematography comprised of light, camera, and a bit of sound. Light, camera, and a bit of sound. So, before you can call yourself a cinematographer, you must have understood very well about camera, you must have understood very well about light, you must have understood a bit of sound. So, and the same way, you must understand how to interpret every scene with the use of shots, light, and all elements of mood. It's not just, cinematography is not just putting camera down and just press record button. Cinematography goes beyond that. You must understand how to light, you must understand how to set your mood for the scene, you must understand how to position your cameras, you must understand all the rules and principles that guide your camera, that guide your lighting, that guide hearing of sound on set. I think this is what you should know about cinematography. cinematography. Thank you, Adekunle Adeyemi, for that question. Yes, another question came in from Samuel Obidairo. This is a very good question. In fact, it is a question of the bone of contention everywhere in filmmaking. The question is, what is the difference between written by or screenplay by? What is the difference between written by or screenplay by? So I would love to answer this question in this way. In fact, I would even love to ask you, what is the difference between story by, written by, screenplay by? So we have these three words that are used in most times when people are writing credits for those who have worked on a particular project or not. So this is what we are going to look into. So when you say story by, you mean the story is supplied by a particular person. The story is supplied. In fact, the person who supplies the story might not have the idea of how to put the story down. He might only have the idea of, I have a story, and this story looks like this story looks like this, and he tells someone about the story he has. So the story will be supplied by that person. It is that person that supplies the story. You know, sometimes in some series, in series like episodial movies, like film that are in episodes. So we used to have a particular person we call created by. We say created by. So it's actually a series. The series was created by a particular person. In fact, it might not really be the person that will write the screenplay, but he's the one that created it. He created a particular scenario, so like a sitcom, like a particular story. He's building a particular story around maybe one particular character. It's his creation. For example, like Papa Ajasko. Papa Ajasko was created by somebody, but all the story, all the writing, all the screenplay work were not done by the person who created it. He created something. Like, I want to create something that will make people laugh. Comedy series around somebody called Baba Ajasko. So all the activities Baba Ajasko would be performing was created by someone, but was written by another person. So story can come from someone who doesn't even know how to write. He can put down the idea of the story. But when you say story is written by, it means that the person has the idea of the story and is also able to write it. So in fact, the person can write the story, they can write the story in the sequential order of the happening. So the person can write the story in the sequential order of the happenings of that story. So maybe from scene 1 to the last scene of the story, how the person envisioned the story, he might write it down. So, but when you say screenplay by, it means that the story can get out of the writer, can get out from the hands of the writer and get to the hands of another crafty personnel, very crafty personnel who can craft the story that has been written by someone into the way it will be what can be presented on the screen. Now, for example, someone who has written the story can put scene 1, and the person who is doing the screenplay can take the scene 1 of the writer and make it his own sentence, and make the last scene of the movie, the person who writes it, he can make that last scene to be his own first scene. So that is, the screenplay is rearranging the story, rearranging the writing to what the screen can accept. So it is written by someone, storied by someone. From the story is coming from a person's idea and is written by, it can be written by that person or written by somebody else who understand how to write scene by scene by scene before it now comes to screenplay. So somebody can have the idea of the three, and it is possible that someone who owns the story might not have the idea of how to write the screenplay. So if I have an idea and I understand how to write a screenplay, I can do all these three by myself. But if I don't have the idea, if I don't know how to do all these three by myself, then someone else can be the screenplay writer. Someone else can be written by, and the story can come from someone. I hope you understand that very answer. So that fantastic question from Samuel Obidairo in Ibadan. Yes, let's go on a short break. We'll come back for the last question.
What was the difference between resolution and
Please, can you tell us what picture composition is? It just production design for us to have film production? Can you tell us what production design for does in filmmaking? What type of camera can you recommend?
Welcome back. This will be the last question we'll be taking for this edition of 5 questions, 5 answers series with Kunle Adepoju. This question is also coming from Big Sam in Apata, Ibadan. Big Sam, thank you for this question. This question says, what type of audio microphone is suitable for recording while shooting? What type of audio microphone is suitable for recording while shooting? Now I will ask you a question from that question. Shooting what? Because there are quite a number of things you can shoot. Are you shooting a movie? Or you are shooting a documentary? Or you are shooting a live event? Or you are shooting news? Or whatever you are shooting. I don't know what you are shooting. But I would actually explain. Whatever you are shooting will determine the type of microphones you are using. Quite a number of people don't know that your set, what is happening on the set, the happening on the set can determine the type of microphones you make use of. Because we have quite a number of microphones that you can use. It's not by size, it's not by shape. Microphones are not recognized by size or by shape. Microphones are recognized by their sensitivity and directivity. I hope you get that. Sensitivity and directivity. So sensitivity in the sense that how sensitive is that mic to be able to pick sound from anywhere. How sensitive is that mic? Then directivity is that at what direction can that mic pick sound? So once you know the direction at which your mic can pick sound, you will know what exactly you want to use your microphone to do. For example, you want to shoot in the market and you want to hear the market ambience. You are shooting in the market and you want to hear the noise of everybody in the market. If you choose a unidirectional microphone to do such, you might not get all the sound around the market because you are choosing a unidirectional microphone to do that. But if you choose an omnidirectional microphone to do that, the omnidirectional microphone can pick sound all around. So it will pick all the sound that is around the market. But imagine you will now want to shoot an interview of someone in the market. You want to interview somebody in the market. You know all the ambience of the market, you cannot stop them. You can't tell them to keep quiet. You can't tell the whole market to keep quiet for you to record somebody's voice. So you need a microphone that will silence all the ambience around and pick only the sound of the person. In fact, even if the mic is going to pick the ambience at all, it will pick it at a very minute rate. So it means that the sound of the person close to the microphone is the only sound that the microphone will enjoy more than any other ambience that is around that person. So the choice of the microphone you use in shooting any particular thing or any particular thing you are shooting, any particular project you are shooting, is determined by what exactly you are shooting. So what exactly you are shooting will determine the choice of your microphone that you are using. First, I would want to know if you can ask this question again, Big Sam, if you can ask this question again, you can ask this question again on what particular thing you are actually shooting. That's what I don't know. But at least with this little explanation I've given, I hope I've been able to answer your question a bit. Thank you for watching 5 questions, 5 answers this week. We hope to come to you next week by the special grace of God. This is the maiden edition, and we are sure that by the grace of God, once we finish our studio, you will enjoy very much 5 questions, 5 answers with Kunle Adepoju on Fox TV. God bless you. Bye-bye.